Greenore is a railway village, former railway village, built in 1873, built by the London North Western Railway Company. Comprised of two streets, Euston Street and Anglesey Terrace. Euston Street after Euston Station in London and Anglesey Terrace after Wales. Two streets, self-contained, purposely built village, the only one in Ireland that we know of. Everything was here for the railway worker, so if the railway worker, the better a house was according to the better a job you had. So in 1873 these houses were on the street here. They're different sizes, as you can see, were owned by the railway, and the worker would have had them for free, and they had running water, flush toilet, and they had gas lights, so they were the house to have. This side of the street was the street to live on. This is the Co-operative store, a 3-storey building, and in the bottom of it, in the cellar, they bottled the beer and the wine for the co-op and for the hotel. This here floor here on the middle floor was the whole floor around the shop. It was worked on dividends. You came in and you told, I want a pair of breeches for my little boy at 12. It went to England that night. The order was taken off you, and it went out on the ship that night to the headquarters in England, and it came back in a couple of days' time. So this was the cooperative store for that. Out the back there was a little bakery. McCann's bakery during the war came up. There was a law about confectionery on, and they baked our confectionery in here and distributed it around the Cooley and Dundalk area from this building. Upstairs then there was an assembly rooms where the locals ran their dances or their functions, their plays. They had a small golf club, a local golf club that the locals formed. They weren't allowed to play golf only on a designated day, or they could caddy, but they weren't allowed into the clubhouse. So they had their functions upstairs and their presentations upstairs. And there was a Kennedy family, had tin whistle classes, and they did plays. Even today we run a little group here, play group, drama group, and we have plays on every so often. We try to keep the traditions going. In 1916 our village had a very big tragedy in that the Connemara and the Retriever, two ships going to Holyhead and coming from Garston, crashed out of the lighthouse in a collision, and both ships sank within 15 minutes. There was 94 people lost, 7 on the Retriever and 87 on the Connemara. One survivor, James Boyle, was from Mourne Point, and he was 21 years old. He was downstairs in the ship when it sank, and he survived. Growing up we were always told he held on to the tail of a cow and got into land, but it's folklore. In research, he was rescued by Anna and his son on the beach in Cranfield and saved. The crew was from Holyhead, 34 of them. We have a big connection with Holyhead to this day. We go over to their functions in the museum and they help us out here. In 2016 we did a wee play to commemorate all the people that were lost in the tragedy. We took it around all the catchment areas to Kilkeel, Rostrevor, Mourne Point, Newry, Omeath, and back here, and we went to Holyhead with it. So the history of the Connemara Retriever and the people are remembered daily here. We have little tea rooms here, and we do a tour of the village, a walking tour in the summertime, and we tell you the story of bygone days. So that's about us in Greenore Co-op. I live here now. We own the shop here, and my husband, he's big into the history, and we do bus tours and that, and we take people on tours through the little model railway in the cellar and a museum upstairs.